Yo, what's good, y'all? MJ here. MJ the greatest on Instagram and Twitter. Back with this week's video. Before we get started, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's liked, commented, followed, subscribed, and just supported in general. I definitely feel the support, and it's just cool to know that these conversations resonate, and I'm not the only one thinking these thoughts. So if I'm not the only one thinking these thoughts, I thought it would just be cool for y'all to know that, you know what I'm saying, you're not the only one thinking these thoughts either. The conversation might start here with me, but it's always like intended to be carried on further. You know what I'm saying? We're all more alike than we think. And so, what I want to basically continue to use this channel to do is just to have those conversations about the things I'm pretty sure we all think about. But where I left off last week was pretty much about how I felt like I had beginner's luck, but I knew that that's when the work actually started. And so a big part of that work was me figuring out how I wanted to shape my business, how I wanted to structure things, how I wanted my work to resonate when I put it out, all the details of the work, not necessarily the work itself, but everything else that goes into having a business. And so I felt like that kind of led perfectly into this topic for this week's video, which is left brain and right brain. So basically, for anybody who doesn't know, they say that we got two different sides of our brain, and that's just how we operate as humans. We got the left brain, which is like logic, language, facts, stuff like that, and then you got your right brain, which is like your creativity, your emotions. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So easy way to think about it is like think about right brain as like your creativity and think of left brain as like your business. You know what I'm saying? The business mindset. Somebody who's like an accountant, they're like a mainly left brained kind of person. Then you got the artist who is like the mainly right brained person. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can kind of see where I'm going with this. When you're an entrepreneur, especially running a clothing business, you definitely have to have a mix of both of those sides. And that was something that I did not comprehend or even know, because like who talks about that kind of thing? You know what I'm saying? Like when I was in school, I didn't know that the version of me that answered a math problem was different from the version of me that went to art class. Like I thought that was all like, you know what I'm saying? I thought I was all just one person, which you know what I'm saying? We all are one person, but you got the mind is such just like a beautiful thing that there's so many different ways that it works. We don't really know about it. You know what I'm saying? I think through life though, you got to engage both of those sides, or you kind of just lost in the sauce a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even when you think about like growing up and going to school, like you had your math class, you had your English class, and you had all that, but you also had your art class, you also had your music class. And now I feel like in the world it's kind of going more towards like a left-brained type of society, you know what I'm saying? Where everything is just like matter of fact, everything is all super literal, like everything is just, you know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of creativity, it's not a lot of people like expressing themselves. And I feel like I guess that's like the biggest point of it all. I think that's why does anybody do art? Is to express yourself, you know what I'm saying? A musician makes a song from basically 9 times out of 10 what they're feeling. A painter makes a painting from what they're feeling, you know what I'm saying? Like art is in its essence a way of expression. It's a way of expressing yourself, and I feel like when you don't have that outlet, you can kind of feel that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might not. You might not, because like I'll be honest, like I lived most of my life as like a left-brained kind of person. All facts, all matter of facts, serious a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people that know me know like I like to joke around, I like to laugh, but like most of the time they'll be like, "Damn, like you always got a straight face, or you got like a RBF." Y'all know what that mean. But people to say that stuff, and I just be, and I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not mad or I'm not this or that, but I was only so stuck in operating in like my left-brained type of, you know what I'm saying, mindset, that it was just all facts. It was all business. It was all numbers. It was all math. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really have a creative outlet of which to express myself. And the thing about living like that for so long is that you don't realize that, oh, I'm not actually in touch with my emotions. I'm not actually in tune with my creative side. I'm not actually partaking in things that I think are fun as much, just because like I'm so robotic in my movement sometimes, be just because like you kind of get programmed to be, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? So just to kind of tie this all in, the reason I'm even talking about all of this is because I kind of had to learn this when I was starting my business, which when you starting a business and in whatever lane you're in, you're not thinking about psychology unless you're in the business of psychology. You know what I'm saying? But you're not really thinking like, okay, I got to be analytical here, or I have to be, you know what I'm saying, more creative here. You're kind of just going through the motions of the things, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is a topic that could probably, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, save some people some time, or just give them some insight on the kind of things that you start to think about as you grow in a business and as you start a business. Um, it was really, I'm not gonna lie, like it was difficult. It was difficult to kind of have these realizations about yourself, because it takes some self reflection. You know what I'm saying? It takes a look in the mirror to see, like, okay, have I been operating this way and why? And most of the time, it's not even because you're a bad person or because anything you did that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we just are creatures of habit. You know what I'm saying? And the reason this matters is because, like I said a little bit earlier, you can't open up a bank account, create an LLC with the same mind that you're going to design a shirt with, that you're gonna go paint a painting with, that you're gonna go sing a song with. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to use two different sides of yourself, and you have to be in tune with both sides of those selves to know that it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Or else you'll kind of, it'll be, things will just be more confusing, because they were confusing for me at times when I would want to just be such an artist and just go full out on my art. I had to realize that I'm also a business owner, and the business owner has to sometimes stop the artist, you know what I'm saying, from making a rash decision, or just, you know what I'm saying, wanting to do something off the cuff and be spontaneous, because that's, you know what I'm saying, as an artist, we don't like constraints or restrictions. But at the same time, when you run in a business, you got to understand that there's a procedure, there's a way of doing things, you know what I'm saying? So I think just kind of finding that balance within yourself, because everybody know, like nobody knows you better than you know yourself. When I started my clothing business, it felt like a godsend, because it was just like I hadn't felt so free before in my life, and I hadn't felt so right about doing what I was doing. No pun intended. Just like everything I was doing, it felt right, and I'm not trying to be funny, but it just, you know what I'm saying. It had that good feeling of like I just knew everything that I was doing because I was supposed to be doing it. And so once I had that feeling, that's when the kind of the light bulb went off of like, oh, this whole time like I was pretty much moving through life like a robot, you know what I'm saying? Like just kind of operating like that and not knowing and thinking that was like, you know what I'm saying, the way. But like I said, I think these things matter because it's like it's stuff that is important but doesn't get talked about, and you kind of sometimes got to go through that on your own and just kind of learn through it. But I feel like if we can have conversations like these, hopefully, you know what I'm saying, it could be a shortcut for somebody so that they can kind of take that self reflection of themselves if they want to start a business or they want to just do something new, you know what I'm saying? They can take the time to think like, all right, am I too much of this way, or am I too much of that way, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, just finding that good balance of both, you know what I'm saying? It's difficult at times because like sometimes you want to be like super analytical about everything. You want to focus super in on the details, but like sometimes you got to just zoom out. You know what I'm saying? Next week's video, I'm going to get into the creative process and sort of how that works for me and how I create. I just thought that this video was a good video to come before that, because you can't even begin to create if you're not even tapped into your creative potential. So, with that being said, I just thought it was good, something to bring to, you know what I'm saying, everybody's attention, that everybody has creative potential inside of them. Everybody needs, in my opinion, some sort of creative outlet, some sort of way to express themselves, whether it be art, whether it be clothing, whether it be music. My advice is to find something that doesn't really have rules and express yourself in that way. You know what I'm saying? Break the boundaries, discover new things, try stuff, experiment, have fun. Um, I think that's the essence of that. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys next week. Like, follow, comment, subscribe. Peace out.